we're going over a little bridge here. Now bridges are quite unusual in the Burren region because the lakes and the rivers here in the Burren region are mainly underground. And underground, these rivers that are underground, they carve out tunnels and great caves and caverns, and in them you would find stalactites and stalagmites. The stalactites are the ones that hang tight to the ceiling, and the stalagmites might get to the ceiling. What about that? Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Stalactites and stalagmites. So, a lot of different features that we have in the Burren. We've seen a turlock today, the lake that appears on the surface of the ground. These are turlocks, the disappearing lakes. We've seen erratics, we've seen clints, we've seen grikes. I'm telling you about the stalactites and stalagmites. We have many people that come here are very interested in exploring these caves and caverns and tunnels underground. These are the speleologists. Geez, we're going to have a great spelling test later. It's beginning to clear up a little bit now. We see a bit of light up there ahead of us, and you can just make out the silhouette of the Aran Islands out there to the right hand side where it's brightening up. There are 3 islands: Inishmore, Inisheer and Inishmaan. Inish, Innis or Ennis means island. You can see a lot of the divisions of the land here that many of them not used so much anymore. You'll see the odd famine cottage, remains of famine cottages. We drive along here. It's impossible to get planning permission to build on the right hand side here now, because they're protecting this so that as we drive along we can enjoy the view. So, as I said to you, one of the very unusual things about the Burren is, particularly in the middle of the Burren, grow these Mediterranean and alpine flowers. We find the spring gentian and the orchid. There are some carnivorous plants as well. One is called the butterwort. Another one is the sundew. These trap insects and they digest small insects. Now they're very small plants actually. They sound very exciting, but they're not like the big triffids or the big Venus flytraps. They're quite a lot smaller, but nonetheless they catch insects and they digest them, which is marvellous. And in this Burren region with all this limestone, the one thing that thrives here are snails. There are 76 species of snails here in the Burren. Don't tell the French. Here's another ruin of a 12th century church on the left. You'll see that there is a graveyard around it that's still used, and you can be buried in these very old graveyards if your ancestors were buried there. You would have the right to be buried there. But many times here in Ireland, our graveyards are away from the church, cemeteries we would call these then, and particularly with the modern Catholic Church not having been built until post 1829, because of the fact that Catholicism was outlawed, you know, in the 1500s by Henry VIII. So the building of Catholic churches in Ireland is a fairly modern thing in the 1800s, and in town communities there wasn't the space for the graveyard around them, so the cemeteries are often separated. But the ferry ride is only 20 minutes, folks. It's only 20 minutes, and it's very important when we get to the other side that you're sitting down ready to leave, you know, on the bus. So just leave yourselves the time to get back to the coach and get back on board, because you saw there how quick it works. As soon as the boat comes in, the traffic gets loaded straight off and the next ground straight back on again. So it's very quick. So just make sure, if you do get off, make sure you're back and ready to leave when we get to the other side.